I was wheeled into St. Camilla's Hospital after the crash when a wicked impulse struck. Why not mess with my boyfriend's head? Who are you? Watching Lucian's face freeze, I almost laughed out loud. But then he jerked a thumb toward his best friend. I'm your boyfriend's buddy. He's your boyfriend, Adrian. My smile turned to plaster. Adrian stepped forward. That's right. I'm your boyfriend. I pulled a lazy grin. Then take me home. He did. He told me I'd always lived there. I surveyed the house. No scented candle I would have chosen, no charcoal sketches, not a single cashmere throw in the colors I like, and, like him, pretended I was blind. I napped in his bed, woke thirsty, and padded toward the kitchen when I heard voice messages rolling from the living room speakers. Come on, Adrian, do me a solid and play her boyfriend for a while. You're not scared she'll suddenly remember? If she does, I'll just coax her back. She loves me too much to leave. We've been together since freshman year. I'm bored. I need breathing room to have some fun. So you and Blair really are hooking up. You just want a free pass to fool around. Keep it quiet. Of course I love Aurora more. While she's with you, keep your hands off. Not that I'm worried, everyone knows you can't stand her. My bare feet crept backward. I rattled the bedroom door, then walked out again. Adrian killed the speaker and sprang up. The floor's cold. Where are your slippers? He scooped me onto the couch. I'm thirsty. I had no clue where the glasses lived. I'll get it. He brought a crystal flute of water, sat, and tucked my hair behind my ear. Feel okay anywhere else? I shook my head. He brushed a kiss on my forehead. I blinked. Lucian had just warned him not to touch me. Common knowledge said he hated me. Yet when he leaned in and found my lips, I turned away. He only stroked my cheek. You don't remember yet. We'll take it slow until it feels familiar. So Adrian was lying to his best friend. 2. When he led me into the VIP lounge, the place was already loud with Manhattan Trust Fund boys. The moment they saw me, silence fell and every gaze flicked to Lucian. Aurora, you're here. I'm Blair, your college roommate. Blair waved from Lucian's side. Adrian ushered me to a seat. I offered Blair an apologetic smile. Sorry, I don't. No worries, we'll get reacquainted. Blair threaded her arm through Lucian's and rested her head on his shoulder, claiming him like a trophy now that I was clueless. Lucian clearly enjoyed the cheap thrill of pawing another woman in front of me. Awesome, both besties dating guys in the same crew, someone snickered. Amnesia or not, nothing changes. They started a party game. Lucian and Blair bit opposite ends of a stick of Pocky, mouths sliding closer with every nibble. Kiss, 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 the room chanted. They sealed lips, deep and theatrical. Blair snuggled into Lucian's chest, sneaking me a victorious glance. He tightened his arm around her waist. Later I lost a round. My penalty, pick someone and kiss for 30 seconds. Quiet. Everyone wondered, would instinct drive me to Lucian? Lucian's gaze darted away, praying I wouldn't tag him before he was done chasing novelty. Adrian beside me went rigid. I smiled sweetly. I choose my boyfriend, of course. I turned to Adrian. Shall we? Relief flooded his eyes. He cupped my face and bent in. I looped my arms around his neck. Gasps, whistles, then sudden hush. They'd watched Lucian fool around plenty, but seeing me kiss another man was brand new entertainment. The room went statue still only when Lucian's expression blackened. Adrian finished the kiss with slow thoroughness, then gently wiped a trace of gloss from my lip. What's wrong, folks? I only paid my forfeit. Aurora may have amnesia but she sure remembers her boyfriend, Blair mocked. Lucian's sulk deepened. I excused myself to the restroom. Near the stairwell Lucian's voice carried. I told you not to pahi. That was low. It's a game. She's amnesic. Should she pick the guy who's already occupied? You crowned me her boyfriend, remember? Adrian drawled. Lucian exhaled. Fine. Keep it decent. I don't believe you'd actually sleep with her. You can barely tolerate her. But spare me the guilt trip if you cross lines you can't stomach. Trust me, I know my limits, Adrian laughed. Back at Adrian's estate mansion I reached my bedroom door. He caught my wrist and kissed me hard. I tried to twist free but he pinned me gently, mouth insistent. When he finally released me he stroked my cheek. We moved forward tonight. We can keep learning each other. I stared, bewildered. He'd just agreed with Lucian to keep distance. Now this? Lucian and I had come from different worlds. He'd worked tirelessly to make me accept his. Then I met his circle, Manhattan princes, especially Adrian. Everyone knew Adrian disdained me, rolled his eyes at our relationship. I'd always given him a wide berth. Yet now, handed the role of my boyfriend, he kept crossing lines. Was it revenge because Lucian had saddled him with me? That evening Adrian mentioned a fireworks gala and drove me to the lake. Lucian and Blair already occupied the prime spot beneath the bursting colors. Blair bounced on her toes and pecked Lucian's cheek. He grinned, tapping her nose. He turned and saw us. For a heartbeat Lucian stiffened, then shrugged it off. Blair waved. Perfect timing, Aurora. Take a few pictures for us. She thrust her phone into my hand. Lucian's gaze flicked toward me and away. I'm so happy tonight, Blair gushed, clasping Lucian's arm. Adrian set off these fireworks just for me. I want to capture the moment forever. Lucian softened and pulled her close. My fingers tightened on the phone. So this lavish fireworks gala was Blair's gift from him. I lifted the camera. Through the screen I watched them entwined, Lucian's tender hold, Blair's blissful smile, technicolor starbursts behind them, romantic, perfect. On my last birthday Lucian had lit up this same lake for me. Blair had volunteered to take pictures for us. I must have looked just as blissful and radiant as she did right then. She had even sighed in genuine envy. I'm so happy for you too. I really hope someone will love me like that someday. I had comforted her and told her it would happen. And now, sure enough, she had made it happen. Adrian plucked the phone from my hand. Enough. You didn't come here to play their personal photographer. He tossed the phone, Lucian caught it and passed it to Blair. After the fireworks gala, Blair and I headed to the restroom. The line was insane, so I gave up and waited while she went in. On our way back I overheard the two men still standing where we'd left them. Looks like you and Blair are having a blast. You and Aurora haven't laughed like that in ages, Adrian said. True. Lately Blair and I feel like we've recaptured whatever Aurora and I used to have. Blair's even sweeter than Aurora, thoughtful and considerate. She just puts me at ease, Lucian replied. Then why not let the mistake stand? Blair suits you better. Aurora can be stubborn, she drives you crazy, doesn't she? Adrian, you can't erase years of history between Aurora and me just like that. Blair keeps saying she doesn't need a promise, just a happy little interlude and she'll be content. Silly girl. Lucian sighed. Huh. Back at the estate mansion, Adrian suddenly pulled me close and kissed me. Then he eased away and looked straight into my eyes. Aurora, you're perfect exactly as you are. You don't have to measure yourself against anyone. I stared at him, hearing an echo of Lucian's comparisons between Blair and me. How did he know me so well? He remembered the tiny habits Lucian had long forgotten, my favorite candy, the dish I loved, the movies I could watch over and over. And tonight he crossed the last line. I didn't stop him. He froze for a second, then lifted me into his arms and carried me into his bedroom. Lucian had been my only man. When he first pursued me, I was nothing but skeptical. But his persistence, the way he treated Grandma, the quiet favors he pulled behind the scenes, all of it wore down my defenses. Later, when his parents cut him off to force him to drop me, I thought the gap between us would finally sink in. Instead he refused to bend, working double shifts while keeping up with classes until his parents relented out of sheer heartbreak. That was when I truly gave myself to him. The night Grandma died, he held me and whispered that I still had him, that he would always stay. A bond that strong has still ended in ruins. Fine, time to learn how to trade one man for another. On Friday the whole crew drove up to Hawthorne for the weekend. When room assignments at the Lakeside Lodge were posted, Lucian's face darkened. He pulled Adrian aside. You two planning to share a room? Separate. Now. Adrian smiled lazily. It's just a room. You know I can't stand her. What are you so afraid of? I stepped into view. Lucian swallowed whatever ugliness was coming next. Next morning Lucian dragged Adrian outside, his face like thunder. I was on the upstairs veranda and caught every word. Did you sleep with her last night? Lucian demanded. Adrian clicked his tongue. Let me guess, you skipped sleeping with your perfect girlfriend so you could press your ear to our wall? Getting kinky, Lucian? Adrian, quit the games. Enough. I don't need you pretending to be her boyfriend anymore. Oh? And what will you say instead? That you're the boyfriend? That you wanted freedom to fool around with her friend, so you fed her the lie that I'm the boyfriend? Adrian's laugh was ice. You dare to confess that? Lucian choked. Besides, what about your shiny new girlfriend? You like her well enough, and she's right over there. Blair and I agreed from day one this was temporary. I never planned to give Aurora up, she loves me. Sooner or later her memory will snap back. I'll apologize, propose, swear she's the only woman I'll ever touch again. She'll forgive me. And you, my so-called best friend, screw her while my back's turned? Lucian was shaking. Adrian, you swore you hated her. When did I ever say that? Weren't you the ones chanting that tune? Lucian's fists clenched. I can't believe you dug this pit for me, hiding your filthy obsession, then pounced the moment I stepped aside. Lucian, you wrote the script. You're the one who introduced me as her boyfriend. Lucian's face drained of color. Since Aurora and I have already crossed that line, and you think Blair is so wonderful, why not let the mistake stand? Like I said before, when Aurora's memory returns, I'll be the one on my knees, not you. Everybody wins. Lucian barked a cold laugh. I don't care that she slept with you, maybe that'll make forgiving me easier. I'll end it with Blair today and bust my ass making things right. Let's see whose side Aurora lands on when the dust settles. I knelt on the veranda, idly pinching dead leaves off a potted geranium. Beyond the wall, Blair, who had been eavesdropping, heard Lucian's last words. Panic flashed across her face, and she bolted. That afternoon, while the men fished the lake, Blair waved me over. Aurora, let's pick grapes, looks fun. I gave her a long, knowing smile and followed. Among the estate vineyard rows she suddenly thrust her phone at me. Here, swipe through. I lifted them off Lucian's camera roll. Screen after screen, Lucian and me kissing, cuddling, tangled in bed, time-stamped from college to last month. I handed the phone back. Meaning? She smirked. Meaning? Everyone says Adrian's your boyfriend, yet here you are in Lucian's bed year after year. What does that tell you? Oh. But people insist my boyfriend is Adrian. My tone stayed flat. Are you seriously this dense? Look at the photos, Lucian is and always has been your boyfriend. He's lying because you lost your memory and he wanted a vacation from commitment. Adrian's in on the gag. You're their punchline, Aurora, the whole circle is laughing at you. I'm your friend, I can't watch you stay clueless. She spat the words out, sure I'd crumble and slink away. But my expression never flickered. I smiled. So? Is Adrian treating me worse than Lucian ever did? Her eyes bulged. You can stay calm knowing all this? Realization slammed into her. Wait, you never lost your memory, did you? I peeled a grape and popped it into my mouth. Oops, caught. Remember, friends keep secrets. You. Shock rattled her voice. You've been faking amnesia, and still sleeping with Adrian. You've played this perfectly hidden. I'm telling Lucian. I'm telling Adrian you never forgot a thing, you tricked them from day one. I popped a grape into my mouth and gave her a little laugh. Are you absolutely sure you want to go public? You certain that once everything's dragged into the light you'll still be the one Lucian keeps at his side? She froze, her face draining to chalk as she remembered Lucian telling her this very morning that he was finished with her. Then she tossed her head with a brittle scoff. I already told Lucian you're faking the amnesia. He knows you've been lying to him from the start, and that you deliberately slept with Adrian. Do you honestly believe he'll still want you? He'll come running to me. I lifted one shoulder. Sorry, but I can't afford to ruin the image I've polished for years in front of him. I'll simply say, very meekly, that because Lucian deceived me, made me think I'd been abandoned, I was wounded, and that's why I sought refuge in Adrian's arms. I smiled at her. Tell me, will he believe I set out to manipulate him, or that my heart was shattered? Which reaction do you think is stronger, his guilt, his pity, or his desire to wash his hands of me? Just minutes ago she had overheard Lucian saying he didn't mind that Adrian and I had slept together. Humph. Blair stared at me, actually taking one step back, her eyes wide with disbelief, as though she were meeting me for the first time. Aurora, I never imagined, never realized this is your real face. You're nothing like the person you used to show the world. And what, exactly, was I like before? I let out an amused laugh. Blair, you schemed so hard to become my best friend, you plotted every angle just to get close to Lucian. You know exactly what you were after, so why clutch at hidden motives on my side? Blair's expression stiffened. I truly love Lucian. You, on the other hand, you've been wearing a mask all along. You knew exactly what was going on and still climbed into bed with Adrian. You're nothing like everyone believed, strong, brave, kind, sincere, wholeheartedly devoted to Lucian. Not at all. You never loved him. Who says I didn't love Lucian? If he hadn't shoved me toward Adrian, I'd still be loving him, wouldn't I? Did I ever betray him the way he betrayed me? I looked at her in genuine curiosity. Why posture so righteously at me? If Lucian lost every penny, could you still swear your love is pure? Blair's face flushed livid, then blanched. You're terrifying, Aurora. I gave a soft snort. I'm terrifying? The guy who shoved his own girlfriend at another man isn't? The man who cheated on his girlfriend with her friend isn't? Blair, count yourself lucky. Between Adrian and Lucian, I'm choosing only one, and I have zero intention of fighting you for anything. Lucian is, in my eyes, sullied. If you want him, use your own skills to hang on to him. I won't sabotage you, relax. Blair's voice trembled. So, you don't love Lucian and you don't love Adrian. You're just hunting a rich man, Lucian, Adrian, anyone, as long as he can give you a comfortable life. A flicker of impatience sparked in me. I told you, I did love Lucian, but what did that get me? Why on earth should I keep loving a man like that? Adrian deceived me too. Why should I hand him my unbroken heart? Compared with Lucian, Adrian is, at least, not that filthy in my eyes. As long as he treats me well and gives me what I want, I'll treat him well in return. Blair held my gaze. And you're absolutely sure you can keep Adrian wrapped around your finger? Among their whole circle he's known as the most unfathomable, the most dangerous, man. I rolled the grape between my fingers. You play your game, I'll play mine. We both know exactly what poverty tastes like. What you decide to do next is up to you. As long as Blair didn't move against me, I'd leave her be. If she couldn't think straight and cast me as her enemy again. Suddenly I sensed a silhouette eavesdropping outside the estate vineyard. I turned, only a leaf quivered in the breeze. Blair and I each lifted our baskets of grapes and walked out. Adrian was heading straight toward us. He took my basket from my hands. You were gone so long I got worried and came looking. He spoke gently, sliding an arm around my waist and steering me toward the lakeside lodge. Blair seemed to stare, unable to grasp why the man beside me treated me this way. Lucian arrived as well, but he didn't go to Blair. Instead he gazed coldly at us, eyes fixed on Adrian. I glanced at him in mild surprise, as usual. Lucian stepped forward. Aurora, there's an open-range paddock nearby. You once said you wanted to ride. I'll take you in a little while. I looked up at Adrian. Did I ever say I wanted to ride? Then you take me when the time comes. All right. First let's go wash these grapes. Adrian answered, leading me away. Lucian stood frozen. Behind us I could feel Blair's jealous glare burning holes in my back. We settled at a table and I began peeling a grape. I felt Adrian's eyes on me, the look somehow strange. When I lifted my gaze he was simply his usual self, gentle, steady. I smiled and lifted a grape to his lips. He opened his mouth, took it, then caught my hand, twining his fingers with mine so the juice trickled over our skin, as though he meant to lick every drop clean. Ever since we'd slept together he could spark desire at any moment. Later, properly geared up, we headed for the private equestrian center. A few of the Manhattan guys were already on horseback. Lucian and Blair were still by the stables. Blair was chattering about which horse to pick, but Lucian's mind was elsewhere, until he spoke. Blair, we need to talk. Blair flinched, she knew what was coming. Suddenly she spotted us and called brightly, Oh, Aurora, you're here. We walked over. Have you two chosen yet? I asked with a smile. Adrian was instructing a groom to pick a gentle, pretty, properly sized mount for me. After we'd ridden a short circuit, an uproar broke out on Lucian's side. Watch out, Lucian. Blair. Ah. A horse that had somehow been let loose was galloping straight at Lucian. Ignoring her own danger, Blair kicked her horse to intercept. She was thrown in the collision. Lucian rushed her to Hawthorne's infirmary. The doctors later transferred her to the hospital in town. The grooms muttered among themselves. No one else had charged in, they'd all steered clear. Given Lucian's skill, he could easily have dodged, or at worst stayed safely in the saddle. Better that than Blair, barely balanced, flinging herself sideways and smashing to the ground. If blame landed on the equestrian center it would be sheer bad luck. Of course Lucian never heard those words. Eventually the doctors said Blair would need a wheelchair for a while. Back at the estate mansion that night I couldn't help sighing. Blair certainly isn't afraid to hurt herself for the prize. We'll see whether she gets what she paid for. As Adrian held me in bed he murmured, If I were ever in real danger, I wouldn't want you to save me like that. I'd want you to stay safe. I tilted my head. Was he giving himself an excuse because he already knew I'd never risk my neck for him? If you were in danger, I'd throw caution to the wind, he added gravely. I smiled and stroked his face. Let's just stay well, no danger for either of us. He caught my hand, kissed my palm, then pressed me back into the pillows. Recently Lucian has been spending a lot of time at the hospital. Blair has flooded Instagram, bouquet after bouquet, every meal he brings her, every minute he fusses over her, all radiating bliss. I've been living rather nicely myself. I told you I loved Lucian. So seeing the man who shoved me toward Adrian still tweaks my mood. Lately that sight has become rare. But some things you simply shouldn't mention. My interior design portfolio won an award, the competition I'd entered months earlier. Back then I'd told Lucian, come to the ceremony. If I win, I want to share that moment with you first. He'd waved it off, a buddy's birthday that night, maybe next time. Yet today he walked in. I stepped onto the stage, accepted my trophy, gave my speech, then hurried down and ran straight toward him. Lucian stepped forward, almost trembling with excitement. I, however, plunged straight into the arms of the man who was holding the flowers I loved, arms open wide to catch me. Adrian spun me around, laughing, then kissed my cheek. Aurora is the most amazing woman alive. Lucian stood to the side, scarlet-eyed, fists clenched so hard the knuckles showed white. It was Grandma's Memorial Day. When Adrian and I reached the gravesite, Lucian was already there. He watched me approach, his gaze gentle. I've tidied everything around Grandma's headstone. Oh, thank you. I offered my gratitude, then added, Adrian, you should properly thank your best friend, you know. Of course. I'll host my best friend to a generous dinner soon. Adrian set the offerings in front of Grandma's marker. Actually, I came yesterday and cleaned everything already. From now on, my best friend needn't trouble himself. Together we bowed and burned the paper gifts for Grandma. I whispered to her that Adrian treated me wonderfully, that I was happier than I had ever been, so she could rest easy. Lucian stood to one side, fists still clenched, watching us perform the rites. I knew Adrian had stopped Lucian from telling me the truth. He had said, do you honestly believe that if you confess your lies while she still has no memory, and therefore no love, for you, she'll forgive you? Or do you think she'll despise you forever? Lucian had lost his nerve. Yet after days of being treated like an outsider, of receiving not a single flicker of my concern, he finally cracked. He blocked my path after work. Aurora. His eyes raked over me without restraint. I frowned. Lucian, what do you want? Aurora, I ended things with Blair ages ago. He stepped closer, frantic. I retreated at once. That has nothing to do with me, does it? Aurora, I need you to know, Blair and I were just a mistake. She kept throwing herself at me. Words spilled out desperately. I came to my senses in time. I corrected my error. I wrinkled my brow. You don't have to explain any of this to me. He shook his head. I meant to wait until you regained your memory, but I can't stand it any longer. You have to know, Aurora, it's me. Your real boyfriend is Lucian. There's really no need for these cryptic claims. I cut him off. Adrian is your best friend, isn't he? Adrian is no longer my best friend. He was shaking with rage. It was him. He plotted to steal you away. What on earth are you saying? I don't understand. Please stop. I was searching for a way to shake him off when I saw Adrian's car gliding toward us. Adrian! I ran to him. He braked at once, sprang out, and pulled me into his arms. I burrowed against his chest as though terrified. Holding me tight, Adrian glared at Lucian. Lucian, what kind of scene are you making now? Adrian! Lucian advanced, quivering with fury. Do you think howling like a lunatic will win you anything? Adrian's voice was icy. The only reason you're still allowed near Aurora is because she doesn't yet know what sort of man you are. Keep this up and she'll avoid you for good, and I'll make sure you never get within 10 feet of her again. Our so-called brotherhood, our entire circle, consider it dissolved. The warning, the menace, vibrated in every syllable. Lucian froze. He understood. If he spoke the truth now, Adrian would flip the whole board, and Lucian would lose even the chance to see me. Under Lucian's bloodshot stare, Adrian ushered me into the car and drove away. I studied the man at the wheel, uneasy. Lately everything he did seemed to follow the script in my head, almost as if he knew what I wanted before I said it. But how could he? After all, I was supposed to be an amnesiac woman. Blair asked to meet me. She was finally, completely giving up. Once her leg healed she would leave the city, implying that if I refused, she might still spill the truth. I found her at the lakeside promenade, parked in her wheelchair beside a bench. Still stuck in that thing? I walked over. Really leaving? She smiled and motioned for me to sit. Nothing left to do here but add to my heartbreak. I truly loved Lucian. I lifted a shoulder and sat. Hope you find peace. She studied me. I admire you, having both Lucian and Adrian love you so desperately. Looking at her, I arched a brow. Secretly recording this, are we? She hesitated, then laughed and handed me the voice recorder from her pocket. I switched it off and gave it back. Don't paint me supernatural. Lucian loved me and still cheated. Adrian? Who knows what tomorrow brings? I used to think you met the world with sincerity and kindness, she said. Now every move you make is guarded, reserved. I frowned. Stop looking at me like I'm unfathomable. I simply love myself first, hardly a radical concept. Yet you end up with everything while I leave with nothing. I eyed her. Stop obsessing over love. After the stunt you pulled with Lucian, shake him down for a fat severance. That should fund the rest of your life. You don't hate me? She murmured. I seduced your boyfriend, used my position as your friend to get close. At first he ignored me, just wanted cheap thrills. Whenever you upset him, I soothed him, promised no strings, no clinginess, pure fun. So he started searching for your shadow in me, treating me the way he once treated you. I shook my head. Men sleep with you then swear you tempted them, please. Once I realized you weren't truly my friend, I downgraded you to casual acquaintance. Otherwise it would have felt like a double betrayal. Since we're not bosom friends, whatever you did stops being my business. The one who betrayed me was Lucian. She gave a brittle laugh. I really do admire you. Still, her gaze flicked past my shoulder. I hate you, Aurora, because you possess everything I ever dreamed of. Before I could react, she whipped a knife from her pocket, leapt up, and lunged at me. Ah! I scrambled backward in shock. She kept coming, slashing wildly, again and again. Have you lost your mind? Blair, is any man worth throwing your life away? As I threw up an arm to block, I realized the blade had no edge, only dull metal. Aurora! Aurora! Two terrified voices tore through the air. Adrian and Lucian sprinted toward me. Adrian shielded me with his body, yanking me clear of the stabs. Lucian kicked Blair's wheelchair over. She crashed to the ground, the knife skittering away. Seeing me safe, Lucian drew back his foot to stomp her. Lucian, stop. It's a prop knife, retractable. I shouted. He froze. Adrian's arms tightened around me while his eyes raked my body for wounds. Blair sagged on the pavement, giggling through tears. We were friends for years, I learned a trick or two. No way I'd ruin my life for real. What the hell was this supposed to achieve? Lucian barked. Adrian, still clutching me, turned a murder. A glare on her. Blair's tear-filled gaze drifted from Lucian to Adrian, then she burst into mad laughter. I sighed. I already knew the climax she'd scripted, using me as bait to drag both men into her final performance. Foolish Manhattan princes, rolling in money and power, yet you danced to a single woman's tune like puppets on strings. Blair laughed mockingly, pointing at me, so fragile in Adrian's arms, while their faces darkened. Aurora never lost her memory. Lucian froze. Blair stared at him. You told me she loved you, that once she got her memory back she wouldn't be able to give you up. But she never lost it at all. She's really with Adrian now. So you understand why, don't you? Because she never loved you that much. She knew you betrayed her, so she simply turned around and lined up her next benefactor. A man who could keep her in the life she's used to. Blair screamed the words, then swung her gaze to Adrian. And Adrian, I honestly don't get it. How can you fall for your best friend's woman? She slept with Lucian for years. She'll never love you any more than she loved him. You just have the same power, the same ability to give her everything. If you were broke, do you think she'd throw herself into your arms? She sagged back, cackling. You're both ridiculous, tearing the world apart over a woman who can discard either of you anytime. Shut your mouth. Adrian thundered at Blair, then lowered his eyes to me, voice gentle. Aurora, let's go home. I looked up, his calm surprised me again. Lucian, dare you ask? Dare you ask Aurora if she ever lost her memory? Blair taunted, as though tasting her own blood. Lucian stood there, trembling in raw panic, lost, desperate, fleeing. Because of Blair's scene, because of my silence, a corner of the truth had already lifted. He was afraid to touch it. If it were true, it would mean I had never loved him, that I had walked straight into Adrian's arms of my own accord. Aurora, let's leave. Adrian held me firmly, turning to go. I looked at Lucian, shaking, evading, breaking, and stopped Adrian. That's right. I never lost my memory, I said quietly. Lucian's body swayed, he spun toward me, quivering. Adrian only lowered his lashes, unsurprised. Slumped on the floor, Blair watched Lucian and laughed until tears came. I kept my eyes on him. If you'd waited one more second, I would have laughed and told you I was joking. But you couldn't wait. You instantly denied us and pushed Adrian forward. Lucian staggered back, head whipping in denial. Aurora, I was still giving you a chance, if you'd just admit your mistake fast enough. But you handed me to another man, told him to be my boyfriend, to take care of me. You wrapped your arm around Blair right in front of me, kissed her where I could see. You lit fireworks across the sky for her, gazed at her the way you once gazed at me. So I finally let you go. Lucian shook so violently his words crumbled. Aurora, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I know I was. I regret it, Aurora. I just strayed for a moment. He crept forward, Adrian glared, shielding me so tightly nothing of Lucian could reach me. I know I messed up, Aurora. I've always loved you, always wanted to marry you. Terror of total loss glistened in his eyes. He pulled something from his pocket. I bought our ring ages ago. I was waiting for your memory to come back so I could beg forgiveness, spend my life making it up to you, give you everything you want. With shaking hands he opened the box. Aurora, I love you. Forgive me, okay? I know you love me, you loved me so much, we were so happy. Give me one chance, just one chance to fix this. Aurora. Lucian. Adrian slapped the ring from his hand. Don't you get it? The second you betrayed her, you lost her. A filthy man like you has no right to beg. You shoved her straight into my arms. Now she's mine. And you will never, ever get her back. I stared at Adrian, stunned. How could he say filthy? That word wasn't something men threw at one another, except I'd used it once in the estate vineyard. Realization flickered. No. Lucian scrambled after the rolling ring. She loves me, she always did. When I ran a fever she fed me porridge and medicine mouth to mouth. I drove through a storm, got home at dawn. She waited on the sofa all night. She thought I'd crashed. When she saw I had only minor scrapes she sobbed with relief and clung to me the whole night. She said being with me made her happy, so happy. She laughed in my arms, again and again. There was so much love, she can't bear to lose me. He stood there weeping, refusing to accept, drowning in regret. Blair watched him from the floor, unsure whether revenge or sorrow tasted stronger. Lucian, I loved you. Now I don't, I whispered. Then I let Adrian turn me away. Aurora. Lucian's voice cracked behind us, hopeless. He knew he had lost me for good. No more chances. Adrian took me home. He insisted on checking every inch of me for injuries. I let him. When he finished he pulled me close and kissed me. Aurora, I love you, the whole of you, whatever shape you take. I won't demand all your love. Just love me the way you once loved Lucian. I'll be faithful, clean, devoted, everything. Softly he produced a lavish ring, clutching my hand so tightly his own trembled. I blinked. You overheard Blair and me that day in the vineyard? He nodded. I laughed, mantis stalks cicada, while the oriole waits behind. Fine. I relaxed my fingers. With shaking joy he slid the ring on, pressed his lips to it. One day, I told him, paint me a picture, while I watch. He stilled, then hugged me hard. I will. The moment he brought me home, every gesture shouted the truth. He didn't hate me. He loved me, had merely spat acid because I'd once belonged to Lucian. That was why both of them reached the crash site almost together. But how deep did it run? I wasn't sure. Would he tire of me once I was truly his? I didn't know, until I stepped into his study and saw charcoal sketches of me lining the walls. Every smile, every glance, drawn from imagination, stroke after stroke. He'd poured years of hidden love onto paper. And he was cleaner than Lucian. That day I learned I was the only woman he had ever touched. Perfect. I would love him back. He held me fiercely and confessed, I've loved you since the morning at Lucian's house when you mistook me for him, slipped your arms around my waist from behind, and whispered good morning soft against my ear. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.